Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass, the much anticipated, long awaited, many time postponed Wonder Woman 1984. We tried to see it in theaters. In fact, we tried to see it we'll show you right now. So we decided we're going to try and support our local theaters. We're going to go and see Wonder Woman in the theaters today. And we just walked in and we're told, did you buy your tickets online? We go, no. I said, oh, well, it's sold out for the day. It only has 3 shows. This cinema has 12 theaters in it. And let's see it's sold out. The movie starts in 5 minutes. Let's take a look at the parking lot. Let's just switch this. Okay. This is my car. That's Paul's car. We have 1 car, 2 cars. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars, and by the way, these 3 cars here are employees. That means there's 6 cars in the parking lot, 12 theaters, sold out for the day, and the movie starts in 5 minutes. I'm thinking there's going to be like 6 bus loads to show up any minute now, because that's the only possible way this is sold out.
Yeah, it starts in 5 minutes almost. So, I don't know. Remember Captain Marvel when they bought a whole bunch of tickets to make it seem like people were going to see the movie? Did they do the same thing with Wonder Woman?
This is very sketchy. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist person, but when I'm told the movie's sold out and there's 6 cars in the parking lot, something's up. I've been sitting here for 25 minutes watching who's going in, and no one's gone in other than the people from the cars. So, yeah, no, don't believe you, Wonder Woman. Don't believe you. So, after trying 3 different theaters, all of which were sold out, and had literally no cars in the parking lot, we ended up streaming the service. So, movie theaters, we tried to support you, but we ended up supporting the streaming service anyway. Alright, just as a heads up, this is going to be a spoiler warning right now. We're not holding back. We're going to spoil the movie for you if you watched it.
Yeah, if you think you're going to watch it, come back later.
Come back later and see if we're right or we're wrong or what you think and disagree or agree with. So here we go. I have a few things to say, so I'm going to let Paul start it off. Paul, what did you think of Wonder Woman 1984? Go over the little bit of the premise of the movie for everybody.
Premise, well, it's a monkey paw story.
Yeah.
So it's about making wishes, but you got to be careful what you wish for.
There's always a price to pay for the wish you get.
Now, I was a little bit worried about this movie because people were saying, oh, they're making fun of Donald Trump. You see all these YouTube thumbnails. Oh, it's about Trump bashing and that kind of stuff. Did you find that?
No. The only thing that resembles Trump in this whole thing is his hair. That's it.
And at one point he said, offhand, he's a television personality.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Trump at all.
So all those thumbnails out there, that's clickbait.
Yeah.
That's clickbait. Don't fall for it. It has nothing to do with Trump bashing.
There's no personality the same. There's no anything the same in this movie. So no. Garbage reviewing, doing that.
There were a lot of other things that I was really worried about too, but I'm afraid that you have some thoughts and it might encroach on those. So how about you take it?
All right. Well, Wonder Woman, the original, was one of my favorite all-time superhero movies. A little bit dumb near the end with Ares. I didn't like the way they did him. But as far as the story and the acting was concerned, Gal Gadot played Wonder Woman to a T. The musical score that accompanied it was perfect. The innocence that she showed, her humanity against the war that was going on and the stuff that was happening. And they didn't overindulge in trying to show a message like, men bad, women good, or look how bad men treat women all the time. They had one little scene with the army and that was it. But that was expected because that's what army was back then, right? Women weren't allowed in the war room and things like that. So perfectly understandable. This movie decided to take all that goodwill that I had for the Wonder Woman story and toss it over their shoulder like a lightsaber and just said, you know what? I think it's garbage, what we did before, and we're going to make our own story. So we're going to have an action superhero movie that has no action, no superhero, strongest woman in the world. Yeah, she's not going to ever even touch anybody in this movie, ever. Oh, and by the way, we're going to show you this preview of the strongest armor made by Amazonian warriors who combined their entire strength into building this army that could hold off the army of men. Oh, and by the way, it gets destroyed in about 12 seconds and is completely useless.
Oh, wait, though.
It's garbage.
Okay, that being said, Kristen Wiig plays the
Cheetah.
character Cheetah, or Cheetah?
Cheetah.
Cheetah? Okay. And her final wish, or her second wish, was to be number one.
Yes, an apex predator.
An apex predator. So we don't know what kind of powers that gave her.
Doesn't matter.
Could have been stronger than the armor.
That's great. This reminded me of the old movie Crow, where they kept talking about this weapon as being the ultimate weapon of all time. And then they use it once and it stops and they end up winning the day with the power of love in that movie. And the weapon was completely useless. That's exactly what this armor turned out to be. It looks very visual. It was a very beautiful scene for the poster. But that's all it was. It's a poster piece of armor. And that really was disappointing to me. Disappointing completely.
Okay, as long as we're going on disappointments.
Okay.
When this opened up, the first thing you see is somebody swinging on a rope up high in the air. And I said, wow, that CGI is crap.
Yep.
Within 30 seconds, I'm thinking, that is crap. This is a blockbuster superhero movie. They're expecting this to be the big thing. This was before the pandemic, right? So they thought this was going to be the big blockbuster Wonder Woman movie. And that CGI, did that look good?
No, in fact, the whole movie CGI
Terrible.
is terrible. And they went, you know what? I know it's bad, so let's make the last scene, the fight scene with Cheetah, let's put it at night. And maybe it won't look quite as bad. Well, guess what? It looked quite as bad. It looked quite as bad. And I'm sorry. I am so mad because Gal Gadot portrays Wonder Woman to a T. When I see Gal Gadot, I see Wonder Woman. I see her as that character. Steve Trevor. Great actor. He's like the character he's being played, Chris Pine, perfectly. He's great acting. But he had such cornball lines, and he walks the whole movie. At first I said, okay, he's like a fish out of water like Gal Gadot was in the first movie. The opposite. She lived on an island the whole time, goes to the world of men for the first time, and everything's new and wonderful. Ice cream is brand new, wonderful. He lived in the world for a little while, was gone for what, 50 years roughly? And now everything he sees is, oh. And it's not just, oh, that's amazing. It's, oh. Like his mouth can't open any wider. And I was okay for the first couple. But it was every single thing he sees. There's a bus. Oh, there's a boat. Oh,
that kind of relates.
It started annoying me.
That kind of relates to one of the things I wanted to say, because here, Diana Prince wishes for her lover to come back, and he comes back, and he's doing the oohs and ahs, and I found that this extreme joy that I would have with having my lover return to me after decades. She was just kind of playing it all cool, like no emotion whatsoever. Like at the times where they told her, okay, now you got to try to pretend you're in love and happy. Okay, well, she does that for a few moments, but the rest of the time is she's just walking all stoically and she'll smile, but she doesn't have her lover back. That's not what I felt from her. It's like you got your wish, the only thing that you want in the world, and you don't seem like you're enjoying it as much as you should be. Did you not find it?
I was probably too put off by everything I saw.
Like she's walking with her hands in her pockets, and he's like 6 feet away, like doing the oohs and ahs. It's like, okay, no, that's not right. That's not right. Okay. Another thing.
Go.
I was really worried about how Kristen Wiig was going to pull off this Cheetah character. First of all, I thought a Cheetah character was going to be completely cringe. But the way they did it, I thought she did a fantastic job, Kristen Wiig. I thought she was perfect for the character. The way they made the Cheetah character in the movie, I thought was great. And the action scene at the end, despite being in the dark, I thought it was
And
great.
CGI.
Yeah, but I thought it was still great.
It was an okay action scene. It was literally, basically one of the only action scenes in the movie. There's one other, and that's it. The opening scene in the mall was one of the corniest, cheeseballest action scenes I've ever seen in a movie. And shame on you for making that.
It was like going back to 1960s Batman.
And, yeah, or Superman 3 with Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Like,
let's be as clowny as we can be.
Yeah.
Like worse than clowny. It wasn't even funny clowny.
No. Like, we'll also have the 4 worst criminals in the world pulling off this jewelry heist where they know that there's a black market thing in the back for some reason, yet they're the cornballiest, worst criminals in the world.
It was like watching Home Alone.
Yeah.
Like the 2 villains on Home Alone. It was like that.
Yeah, Laurel and Hardy rob a bank. That's what this was. That's how bad it was. It was so cringy, and I went, oh my God, is this the movie? And unfortunately, it was more like that than better as we went along. I am so... If I could get my money back, I would ask for my money back.
Well...
I would. This was not worth $30.
No, but we've not asked for our money back with much worse movies than
This is true. This is true. But I don't pay on demand. I don't pay on demand. When I buy something... And you know what? I didn't buy it. I got it for 48 hours. And I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
I was quite disappointed with the end. You have the big resolution on how everything is rectified. I thought that was reaching. I thought that was really reaching.
It was super reaching. And not only that, as the wishes start to pile up, the whole thing is you wish for something and then he can take something from you. So if you have all the oil, you wish for something, you wish it, and then he takes all your bodyguards or all your oil. Or if you're the president of the United States, you wish, oh, I wish we had more nuclear missiles than the Russians. Okay, well, I have all your power and influence over the United States. So, but all of a sudden, outside, everybody's in turmoil. People are marching on his headquarters and camping outside. And there's no explanation as to why this is happening or at any point, no matter the very first wish he does, this stuff starts to happen from random people out there, but it has nothing to do with the wish that just happened or anything like that. It was so, you know what? We need to make it look like the whole world's in peril. And this is how we have to do it. And it was so bad. So bad. So bad.
Pedro Pascal, he was the Donald Trump character. He was the main villain. How do you think he did?
If he was trying to portray a sleazy car salesman, TV evangelist, he did an okay job. I don't think he was given a whole lot to work with. The resolution obviously wasn't his fault. You know, this was written on the script, so he had to portray it that way. He turns out to be kind of like a sniveling worm. Whenever he's confronted, he hides, he ducks, he's kind of a coward, he doesn't fight back at all. It's not what I would call a villain. It's just a bad guy.
As far as acting, like only all right, I think.
Yeah. Now, the cast was fine. Kristen Wiig, better job than a lot of people give her credit for. Although I did see Kristen Wiig in a lot of the lines.
Well, at the beginning...
You know, when she's playing the cornball.
Yeah, she's a cringe character like she was in Bridesmaids. She was very, very awkward, and she did it perfectly.
Yeah.
But you wondered how long this was going to hold up.
Yeah,
you know?
And it looked like... Every time I saw that, there's Kristen Wiig from Ghostbusters. That's her. That's the character she plays. Even her lines sometimes, we'll talk about this later, kind of thing. It's just... I didn't like it, but as she started to become the villain, I wish she would have been the villain.
Yeah, she was kind of like a side villain. But at the end, we already said there's spoilers. When the whole world is renouncing their wishes, we did not specifically see her renounce her wish.
No.
So she could still be Cheetah.
She could. Oh, she probably will be because she can still show up again.
She didn't have as many black lines on her face when we saw her in the last part, so they're maybe trying to trick us. But I did not see her renounce her wish.
No. And there is a post-credit scene also in this movie, but it has nothing to do with leading you into another movie at all.
No, it's just fun.
It's just it's a payback in homage, if you will. So, yeah, as you can tell, I'm not a big fan.
But you got to tell us like something you liked about the movie.
I like the acting. Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, even in this movie. The trouble is they made Wonder Woman, she doesn't throw a punch. She's the strongest, most powerful warrior, Amazon warrior, and she doesn't throw a punch in this movie. She's getting pounded on, there's tanks coming after her, and she's just using her lasso. And by the way, put the lasso away now, because I don't want to see the lasso lightning, roping lightning and roping clouds. I don't want to see the lasso all of a sudden go 500 yards away and grab something and pull it back. It's unlimited lasso now.
And they do show the invisible jet in this 10-minute long interlude where it doesn't make any sense for the story. They just go off and the fireworks and there's romantic music and it makes no sense for the movie whatsoever.
No, and it's not Wonder Woman's jet. It's a jet they apparently steal from the Smithsonian Institute somewhere or something like this.
And fly from North America
to Cairo.
To Egypt.
It's a fighter jet. The fighter jet flew from North America in 1984 to Cairo.
And they got this fighter jet fairly easily, by the way.
Yeah. The only people that tried, and the way they broke in was she held a badge up and the doors opened.
Yeah, it was like going to a Sears parking lot and, oh, there's a fighter jet for me.
Yeah, and then the guards finally show up by putting a car in front of the runway at the end of the runway, and that's it. Not during the runway or anything, at the end of the runway, and stood there and went like this, basically.
I think I can honestly say the only two things I really, really super enjoyed about this movie was Kristen Wiig's transformation into Cheetah with her battle at the end, and maybe the little Olympics thing they had at the beginning with young Diana.
Which, again, even in the first movie, the scenes with the younger girl were really, really good. Mm-hmm. This was sort of along the exact same lines. I wish that was still more in the movie. But then they went kind of completely away.
So obviously you're telling people not to buy this.
I would not buy this. There's no way I would buy this. This was a shame. This movie is an absolutely travesty compared to what the first movie is. If you're comparing the two together, they're night and day. Night and day in quality and performance true to the character.
I think we have to manage our expectations. This, for me, was just a little smidgen below a 7 out of 10, movie quality-wise. Okay. However, yes, it should have been so much better, which makes me think that, it's not even a 7. But really, compared to other 7 movies, this was a 7 movie.
Now compare it to the first Wonder Woman.
Well, no, the first Wonder Woman was 8 or above.
So disappointing. I am disappointed in Patty Jenkins. I'm very disappointed in this because the plot of the story was bad. There was no action. And to top it off, sometimes this can save a movie if you have a soundtrack that inspires you during the movie. Remember the soundtrack from the first preview you saw of the original Wonder Woman where she's stepping out of the trench and she's getting ready to walk across no man's land, and like it's pumping you up. This one was all opera, and it did nothing. It didn't change from when she's fighting to when they're walking in the mall to when they're shopping to when they're cooking dinner. It was the same soundtrack, the same tone, the same beat all the way through. At no point did she all of a sudden the Wonder Woman soundtrack come in. Where did that go? You own that soundtrack. Why is it not there? Yeah, that's Wonder Woman.
It should have been her sound.
Yeah. When Darth Vader walks into a movie scene, you hear the Darth Vader scene, even if it's in the background of the plot that's playing. This, you heard nothing of the Wonder Woman soundtrack. I guess they wanted to make it as boring as possible, and they did to me. They really did. And I love these characters. I like the actors that are involved. I like Patty Jenkins, and this just dropped the ball. And I'm afraid to say that, but I have to be my honest truth with this movie. I I avoided reviews after reviews after reviews until I could see it for myself.
Hey, you know what we didn't touch on?
What's that?
All the guys.
Oh yeah, by the way, other than Steve Trevor, they're all jerks.
They're all catcalling, hey, sexy.
Every guy, doesn't matter if you're Kristen Wiig or Gal Gadot, every guy was trying to hit on you or a rapist.
Yeah.
The drunk rapist
What
guy.
I didn't understand too was you have Kristen Wiig's character, and she's all meek and she wants all this attention and nobody pays attention to her, and then she starts transforming into somebody people give attention to, and so guys are starting to comment, hey baby, and then she gets mad at it.
Yeah. I'm upset with what, I guess be careful what you wish for. Yeah, but all men bad. All men bad. Absolutely. Again. And they don't need to do that. The first Wonder Woman proved that. Proved it. That's why it was such a good movie. You didn't try to preach anything to us. Here, you really overdid it. And besides overdoing it, I could have let that go, but you made a boring-ass movie. This was over 2.5 hours long.
It felt long.
And it felt longer. And I was despising it the longer it went on. Because it just went nowhere. It wasn't inspiring. It didn't tell a great story. It just dropped that ball. Just dropped it.
For context, I'd probably watch Justice League before this again.
We almost had to go see Monster Hunter because it was sold out everywhere. We almost saw that. I'm sad we didn't go see Monster Hunter now. I really am. And I think that movie's going to be horrible. But, all right. Well, there you go. If you're going to rate it, well, you said you're going to get close to a 7. What are you going to give it?
Well, after this talk, a 6.7. A 6.7 out of 10. Because I'm trying to manage what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Now, here's my reviews. I always say if I come out of a movie and I had a half decent time, it's a 7. If it's a good time, it's a 7. It can have flaws and it had. This one I didn't have a good time. I didn't have a good time watching it. I'll give it better than a 5. I'll stretch it to a 6. I'd like to say a 5.5. I'll stretch it to a 6. I saw it. I will probably never, ever watch this movie again. Ever.
And it limits our excitement for the next Wonder Woman movie.
I could care less right now. And you know what? When I saw the preview for it, it didn't inspire me like the first one did, but I said, you know what? That doesn't matter. I just got hooked on that first one, that one scene, the soundtrack. Let's give it a chance. Well, I gave it a chance. I watched it. We rewound some parts of it, and it still didn't strike a chord whatsoever. So I sort of say I give it a 6. You get a 6.7. There's nowhere.
Mark gives it a 9.
Mark loved it. He thinks it's right up there with The Mandalorian.
We'll see when he sees it, what he gives it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's going to like this one whatsoever. But you know what? No matter what, we still have another movie that we're going to get ready to review soon that will change our luck completely. Stay tuned, because coming up soon, we're going to review Chick Fight. And I'm sure that will change the way we look at these movies altogether. Coming up. And until next time, why not check out some... I don't think we're going to like it whatsoever. Check out some more of our other content here on the side. Until next time, we'll see you on the channel.